Hello guys, and welcome to a new video on Formula Update. In this video we are talking about the news that Red Bull have admitted that they breached the cost cap, and we will talk about the penalty that they are receiving. However, there is also some other news, so let's dive into that first. Sebastian Vettel is racing with a very special helmet at the Mexican Grand Prix. He will race with a special Red Bull helmet to honor Dietrich Mateschitz. The helmet is inspired by an old Red Bull helmet that he has used. Instead of the text Red Bull, the helmet says Dank Diddy. Mateschitz has been very important for Vettel's career. Vettel has been supported by Red Bull in the junior categories and was later on promoted to Toro Rosso. At Toro Rosso, he even won a race on Monza and broke the record of youngest F1 driver to win a race. He later on joined the big Red Bull racing team. Vettel won all of his 4 titles with that team and won a lot of races. He equaled Schumacher's record of 13 race wins in a single season with the team, and even set a record of most consecutive wins with 9 wins. The German is very grateful of the chance that Red Bull and Mateschitz have given him. Therefore, he is honoring the man that was so important for his career with this special helmet. It really shows the gentleman that Sebastian Vettel is. Alonso, his P7 from the US Grand Prix, is reinstated. After the race, Alonso received a 30-second time penalty because his car was declared unsafe after the race. Haas F1 had filed a protest against Alpine because of the loose right mirror he had, because of the crash with the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Alonso showed his class to get his car back up to P7 after this incident, but because of the protest that Haas filed, he received a 30-second penalty and was thrown back the order. Haas had protested to make a statement to the FIA. They have received the black and orange flag multiple times this season for a loose bit of front wing on the car of Magnussen. They felt that the car was not unsafe, but had to pit for a new wing nevertheless. Because Alpine wasn't shown the black and orange flag to come into the pits, they felt that this was unfair. Alpine couldn't protest the decision of the time penalty, but could protest against the fact that Haas had filed the protest 24 minutes after the deadline. The protest is not allowed to be looked at if it is filed too late. This protest wasn't allowed by the FIA, but Alpine did not give up. They filed a right of review. With a right of review, the stewards have to look to the incident again if there is some new significant evidence. The outcome of the review was that Haas could have filed the protest before the deadline, and because they didn't, their protest has been annulled. It is understandable that Haas has filed the protest to make a statement. However, it is very strange that a team gets a penalty for an unsafe car when it was very clear for multiple laps that the mirror on Alonso's car was loose. It was clearly broadcasted on TV that the mirror was flapping around, but Alonso did not receive a meatball flag. The stewards should have intervened when they had the chance. After the race is way too late. To give a driver a penalty after a fault of the race director is very strange and feels wrong. The case should be reviewed thoroughly to make sure that this won't happen again. It is a very bad look for the sport and brings a lot of confusion. Lewis Hamilton is not leaving the sport anytime soon. After the tough 2021 season, it was thought by many that Hamilton could leave the sport soon and that he would focus on one of his hobbies. But nothing of that is true. Hamilton will soon be talking to Mercedes about a new contract. The Brit is aiming for a contract of multiple years. Mercedes hasn't been very competitive this season, especially if you compare the performance to the last couple of years where they have won almost every title. It sees, however, that the German team has caught some momentum in the development of the car. Hamilton has tested a lot with the car, and it looks like the gap between Mercedes and the front of the field is only a few tenths instead of more than a second like the start of the season. He wants to continue the development to eventually get his record-breaking 8th world title. It is to be expected from a big team as Mercedes to fight for titles, and we expect them to do so next season. Hamilton probably feels that Mercedes is the place to be for the coming years to race at. He says that he still has the motivation to put all the work in. What do you think? Will Hamilton win his 8th title in the coming years? Let us know. We can finally conclude the cost cap saga. The FIA and Red Bull have come to an agreement about breaking the cost cap. Red Bull has spent 1.6% more money than allowed within the cost cap. This is about $2.3 million. We had to wait a little bit longer on the outcome of the cost cap penalty, because the procedure was put on hold because of the passing away of Red Bull owner Dietrich Mateschitz. But now it is official. Red Bull will receive a financial and a sporting penalty. The financial penalty is a fine of $7 million. The sporting penalty is a reduction in wind tunnel time for the team. Red Bull already has reduced wind tunnel time because they have won the Constructors' Championship. This means that they will only have 70% wind tunnel time, but this is without the penalty. So for next year, Red Bull Racing will only have 63% of the wind tunnel time available. This could have big implications for the development of the car. It was expected that the overspent amount would be deducted from next year's cost cap, but this is not the case. Red Bull can still spend the same amount of money as every other team on the grid. These penalties don't look too hard on first glance. The financial penalty won't have real consequences for the team. Red Bull has a very competitive package, so the sporting penalty don't have to be too bad for the team. It will have a harder time to thoroughly test updates before putting them on the car, but maybe they will get away with it. What do you think? Will Red Bull suffer a lot from the reduction in wind tunnel time? And do you think that this is the right penalty? Or should it be a bigger or lighter penalty? Let us know in the comments down below. That is all we got for you this time, but we will be back with more soon. If you liked this video, please click like. If you want to stay up to date on the latest F1 news, please subscribe to our channel. If you want to watch another video, click on the box to the left. We will see you next time.